I'm Richard Armitage and I play John Proctor. I believe the essence of John Proctor is that despite what he thinks and says, he is a good man who made a mistake, a huge mistake, but in his affair with Abigail Williams. But I sense that he was always destined to make that mistake, and that's the thing that makes him Miller's creation a bit of a genius creation, is that it's not to Proctor, it's not a surprise that he fell like that. In a way, he always knew that he had that fatal flaw in him. It's why he chose Elizabeth Proctor as his wife, because she would be the one person who would keep him on the straight and narrow, and it made it doubly worse, really. But I do believe that Miller is somehow representing himself in the character of John Proctor. I feel that there's a cry from Miller about his own life and his own fallibility that he pens in Proctor. The analogy of climbing a mountain is a good one, because there are finger holes along the way that you just grip onto, and in a way too many to mention, many that resonate for me, but in terms of when Miller chooses to truly reveal the character, I feel that the it's not always in the lines of the man himself, but I think the first finger hold is when Abigail says to him, "I see you looking up, burning in your loneliness." I think that's the first finger hold of Proctor, because it's true. After Elizabeth was sick, I think there was a burning loneliness in him, and that's the beginning of his fall. Right the way through to the end of the play, when he says, you know, "I have given you my soul, leave me my name." That's the summit. But along the way, a million finger holes that Miller gives us. First of all, finding a physical vocabulary for Proctor was my starting point, because I knew I could get inside of the psychology, because that's something that we do, I think, as people on a daily basis, is that we go through a process of analysis. The physical thing was going to be something that I'd have to work on over 5 weeks. So I went and did some work on a farm in Massachusetts. I worked with some cows for a week and swept out the midden and drove the cows with a whip, because I wanted to see, what it felt like. And it, I was programming my mind for the kind of conditions, the weather, the smell of the cows, anything that I could get that would give me a sort of sensory injection into the character. I did a private moment exercise where I was sharpening an axe for about 7 hours, and really, after a few hours, you're not just sharpening the axe. It's like your body and the axe are as one. So all of that kind of work, an animal. I saw him as a kind of hybrid of an animal that was close to a bear, but had a sort of the ferocity of a predatory cat as well. So I did a bit of animal work too. I've asked the question of myself and of Proctor throughout the entire performance and rehearsal process is, Proctor's a very physical man. He's got a very voracious sexual appetite, and I think that's the core of his essence. He's a man that works the land, he works with animals, he eats his food, and he, has sex with his wife, and it's essential to his core being. And when that was denied him as his wife was sick, instinctively he went somewhere else. That's not to condone what he did was right, but it's an appetite that the man has. I think in the process of the breaking relationship that happens because of that action with Elizabeth, he discovers what love is, and to him, and to me as well, I think that as I've discovered Proctor's discovery of love, it's about forgiveness and acceptance of the flawed man, which is everything that Elizabeth gives to him in the final act of the play. I read the play 20 years ago, and I feel like the character has been in the making for 43 years, my life. And I suddenly realised about 3 days ago that I will never play this role again. So the next 4 performances will be, you know, we'll be digging deep for him.